In today's news, are we finally seeing the green light from Congress? Because they are making their stand, trying their damnedest to rid the filth within their leading government agencies. At yesterday's hearing, there was bipartisan agreement that the FDIC chair Martin Gruenberg has failed his employees, failed his agency and the American people. There have been accusations, reports of some heinous, disgusting crimes occurring under his watch, and the agreement is that he is not fit to lead and he must go. Take a listen.
Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle have lost faith in FDIC Chair Gruenberg.
Let me be clear, showing up today is not an act of courage, it's an act of hubris. It is clear from this report that deep institutional changes at the FDIC are necessary.
If I'm going to be honest, I'm pissed off. I heard people talk about upset, appalled, but I'm pissed off.
If you have the decency, please step down. If not, I would urge the President of the United States to replace you ASAP.
Now, I highlight this post because evidently congressmen across the board are now finally standing together. And it seems that this SEC and Gary Gensler's head are next to enter the guillotine, next on the chopping block. As we can see from Meta Lawman here, everyone's saying it together now, bipartisan. The young guns in the Democrat Party are coming out in favour of reasonable regulation of the digital asset economy so that the United States can once again be home for game-changing innovation. This is what the right side of history looks like, as Republican Willie Nickel spoke with Taylor Barr at the Digital Chamber Blockchain Summit about all things crypto and his frustration with the SEC's regulation by enforcement. But no more does it seem to just be empty threats and venting frustrations about the SEC. As new from Fox Business journalist Elena Terrett, the Senate is to vote on overturning the SEC SAB 121, which discourages financial institutions from being custodians of digital assets. Consensus is that the Senate will follow the House and overturn. This is massive news. That is right. We have people like Senator Loomis, who is currently speaking on the SEC SAB 121, stating that it is a legal overreach by the SEC. And as we can see from Perry Ann here today, the US Senate will vote to nullify SAB 121 and is expected to pass with bipartisan support. This has been a long time coming, years in the making. Listen closely.
We did a very significant campaign working closely with Congressman Flood as well as many other members to help them understand just how devastating this is and why this really impacts the American financial system from being able to compete in this new technological frontier. And that led to Congress pushing on the Government Accountability Office to look into this. The GAO issued a report just a couple months ago, and their findings verified that the SEC had violated the Administrative Procedures Act and the way that it put forward the SAB 121 rules. And what that means is that Congress can completely nullify it. So just last week, a joint resolution was introduced in both the House and the Senate to fully nullify SAB 121 or end it.
So it seems that Congress are making their stand, being greenlighted to nullify the SEC's regulations by enforcement act, making them redundant should this act pass. But of course, there are still outliers still struggling against this new regulation, this new monetary era, so to speak, as US Senator Elizabeth Warren urges the Senate to vote no on legislation that would allow highly regulated financial firms to custody Bitcoin and crypto. She's still trying to fight the good fight, but she's fighting a losing battle. That much is evident, and it's becoming even more apparent that if you do not adapt and accept this new change, this new shift, you will be kicked to the curb. As recently, Vanguard, one of the biggest financial institutions alongside that of BlackRock, had an anti-crypto, anti-Bitcoin stance. Well, that CEO was replaced by a former BlackRock employee, which tells you everything you need to know. Adapt or you get left behind, kicked to the curb. And the SEC, this SEC is not flexible, and they will be destroyed by Congress with the Ripple lawsuit verdict edging ever closer and closer. And with Congress making more aggressive maneuvers against the SEC, the talks of a settlement deal with Ripple and the SEC are starting to circulate once again, and according to Wall Street expert, Linda P. Jones, we could see one as soon as July. Listen closely.
We may even get, the settlement before the end of July, I think what I heard. I think that came from Brad. I could be mistaken, but I think Brad Garlinghouse said that. So if we get the settlement by the end of July, that's going to give us value. Mr. Katao in Japan said, of course, all the Japanese banks are going to be using XRP next year. So that's coming.
That's
and
big.
Said as soon as the settlement happens, Ripple will announce an IPO. Now that's from him. I don't know if it's true, but he said that.
Right.
So if that's true, then we get an IPO announcement. We might get an ETF announcement. We might get an IPO soon. I mean, there's so many things that are boom, 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 boom. Right in a row. So I know that times are tough and people are just, upset and want things to hurry up, but it's all going to happen in its right timing, and everything's going to happen in the way that we expect, I think. We know what we have. It's going to work out. Just keep the faith and confidence.
Boom, 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 boom. So many imminent catalysts to follow once we get this victory ruling from Judge Torres. One of them being the imminent launch of the Ripple stablecoin, which we can see from Brett Hill here. The World Bank has actually recognized XRP as a stablecoin designed specifically for facilitating cross-border payments. Not only the World Bank though, but other influential financial institutions like the IMF, the BIS and many more have also classified both XRP and XLM as stablecoins. So this is very, very big news. Proof that XLM and XRP are going to take over, but more importantly, this is proof that XRP and the new incoming Ripple stablecoin will both be utilized by these massive financial institutions. They'll both coexist with one another. The stablecoin will be able to bring more liquidity to the XRP ledger. What transactions XRP can't do, the Ripple stablecoin will be able to do, which, with more liquidity coming onto the XRP ledger, this will increase the price of XRP. Especially as USDT Tether's days seem to be numbered. Here from Smoke, according to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, only 6% of Tether is backed by cash, which is stupidly low. Tether is exposed to significant risks, which raises consumer user protection concerns. Also, US authorities have limited influence over USDT despite being pegged to the dollar. Is it clear enough for you yet? This is why Brad Garlinghouse claims that the US government is going after Tether, because they have no control over Tether, and that's what the government want. They want control over their assets. The US government effectively need control if they're going to shift to this new monetary era. And Tether's CEO evidently was not very happy with what Brad Garlinghouse stated, posting a lengthy response on X. Summary of it stating he said that an uninformed CEO, being Brad Garlinghouse, leading a company being investigated by the SEC, being Ripple, launching a competitive stablecoin, being Ripple stablecoin, is being reported spreading fear about USDT. Now, evidently, he has not listened to the Chris Vasquez podcast with Brad Garlinghouse, because if he did, he would know that Brad Garlinghouse was not attacking Tether. His next words out of his mouth during that podcast were, "I view Tether as a hugely important part of the ecosystem. My point was that the US government is clearly indicating that they want more control of the USD-backed stablecoin issuers, which Tether are not providing for them, and thus Tether, as the largest player, is in their line of sight to be destroyed." Ripple, the new stablecoin, is 100% backed by US dollar deposits, bonds and cash equivalents, 100% backed by the US government. Hence, this is why the new stablecoin will replace USDT. The SEC days equally are numbered, and with Congress greenlighted to nullify their illegal oversight, and with this will act as a major catalyst, a huge catalyst, to allow Ripple to win and overturn this lawsuit with the SEC. And soon to follow, we will see a settlement deal. And XRP's price will soar to the moon. Don't look short term, think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.